When it comes to the story of humankind, archaeologists, scientists, and historians have found many of the answers, but certainly not all of them. They're exceptionally skilled at what they do, capable of drawing grand conclusions from the tiniest traces and fragments of evidence. But sometimes, they came across something so extraordinarily perplexing that it leaves even the brightest experts completely perplexed. That's exactly what today's video is all about. Today, we're going to show you the 15 most unbelievable ancient finds that still puzzle researchers. So, let's begin with number 15. Keladi Terracotta Pipes Well. According to history books, the people who lived thousands of years before us weren't supposed to be especially advanced. They built simple homes, used basic tools, and certainly weren't expected to leave behind engineering that could still puzzle experts today. That's exactly why Keladi has become such an eye-opener. While digging the ancient settlement in Tamil Nadu, archaeologists came across rows of terracotta pipes laid one above another with wild precision. The settlement itself dates back roughly 2,600 years, but nobody agrees on what this carefully planned system actually did. Some researchers believe each level carried different kinds of water or liquids through the town. Others suspect at least part of it played a role in religious ceremonies. Even more impressive, several openings were protected with perforated clay covers that allowed water to flow while keeping animals and reptiles out. That's not the sort of detail people normally associate with an ancient settlement. Finds like this quietly remind us that our ancestors may have solved problems in ways we've only just begun to appreciate. Number 14. Stonehenge. Bluestone Stonehenge might be one of the world's most famous monuments, but some of its biggest secrets still refuse to be solved. Among the greatest mysteries are the 40-plus smaller rocks known as the bluestones. They never came from the landscape surrounding Stonehenge. Instead, they were taken from the Preseli Hills in Pembrokeshire, Wales, nearly 200 miles away. That raises a question archaeologists still cannot fully answer. How were these enormous stones moved such an incredible distance almost 5,000 years ago? A study published in 2019 finally identified the exact outcrops where many of the bluestones originated. Researchers believe ancient builders carefully loosened them by driving wedges into natural cracks before lowering them onto prepared stone and timber platforms discovered nearby. That discovery explains where the stones came from and even how they were removed from the hillside. Even so, the greatest mystery remains untouched. No one can say with complete certainty how they completed the remarkable journey to Stonehenge, or, perhaps more importantly, why they did. Number 13. The Olbia Gear Wheel. It's no secret that ancient Greek thinkers like Alexandria, Ctesibius, and Archytas were decades ahead of their time. Their inventions still impress engineers today. That's why one tiny piece of metal has refused to stop raising questions. While archaeologists were carefully uncovering the remains of the ancient city of Olbia in Italy, they came across a small brass gear no larger than a coin. It dated back to around the 2nd century BC, but its design looked surprisingly familiar. The curved teeth matched a style engineers still recognize for producing smooth, precise mechanical movement. Similar craftsmanship is seen on the famous Antikythera mechanism, a device often described as the world's first computer. Making that kind of gear required an insane level of mathematical knowledge, and even producing the brass itself would have been difficult during that period. The discovery left historians facing an uncomfortable possibility. Somewhere in the ancient world, someone understood machinery far better than anyone believed possible. The machine that once carried this advancedly amazing gear, however, has never been found. Number 12. The mysterious Stolhof hoard. We all love a good treasure story. But this one refuses to give up all of its secrets. The Stolhof hoard was discovered in 1864 high above the village of Stolhof in Lower Austria, nearly 2,500 feet up in the mountains. Far from an ordinary discovery, it became one of Austria's greatest Copper Age finds and included the oldest gold artifacts ever found in the country. Testing suggests the collection is 6,000 years old. Among its contents are 9 spiral rolls, 6 double spiral pendants, 2 flat axes, spiral bracelets, 2 beautifully decorated gold discs, and a small sheet metal ornament shaped like a bear's tooth. The gold discs attract the most eyes because tiny holes through their centers suggest they were once stitched onto clothing. Researchers have also noticed striking similarities between these objects and discoveries made in Poland, but no evidence has ever confirmed whether the two collections were actually connected. Number 11. The Brocken Spectre. Plenty of mountains earn a reputation for strange stories, but very few have managed to keep those stories alive for hundreds of years. Germany's Brocken Mountain is one of them. Long before television towers appeared on its summit, people connected this peak with witches, eerie gatherings, and unexplained events. Writers found inspiration there, including Goethe, whose famous Faust drew upon the mountain's unsettling reputation. Even today, names such as the Witch's Altar and the Devil's Pulpit continue adding to its mysterious character. Then comes the sight that leaves visitors speechless. Under very rare weather conditions, a person's shadow can suddenly appear enormous across drifting mist, surrounded by shimmering rings of color. Science explains the effect as a solar glory. Yet witnessing it is another matter entirely. Seeing your own outline suspended high above the landscape feels deeply unsettling, no matter how well you understand the physics behind it. Perhaps that's why the Brocken continues living comfortably between folklore and science, where neither side has completely overshadowed the other. Number 10. The St. Albans Hoard Well. Gold has a remarkable way of refusing to stay buried forever. That proved true in 2012 when a first-time metal detectorist uncovered one of the largest Roman gold hoards ever found in Britain on private land near St. Albans. The remarkable collection contains 159 gold solidi dating to the final years of Roman rule in Britain during the 4th century. Historians believe the coins were either concealed for safekeeping or placed in the ground as a valuable offering, although nobody can say which explanation is correct. Rather than serving everyday trade, these impressive pieces were reserved for major payments and carried the names of emperors including Gratian, Valentinian, Theodosius, Arcadius, and Honorius. They had originally been struck in important Roman cities such as Milan and Ravenna before somehow reaching Britain. Thanks to support from several heritage organizations, the collection now belongs to the public and is displayed at the Verulamium Museum. But why was such great wealth buried in the first place? Number 9. William Wallace Sword. Most people recognize William through Hollywood. But the real man was far greater than the version shown on screen. His fight for Scotland's independence turned him into a legend, and for centuries one enormous sword has been linked with his name. If it truly belonged to Wallace, though, he must have been an exceptionally powerful figure. The weapon stretches almost 5.5 feet from tip to hilt, making it far larger than most swords from that period. That is where the mystery begins. Detailed examinations suggest the hilt, belt, and several other parts were produced during the 15th century, well after Wallace's execution. Some specialists believe different pieces were later forge-welded together, raising the possibility that an original blade may have survived before being altered generations afterward. Others reject that idea completely. Dr. David even argued the weapon had no connection to Wallace whatsoever. Even so, its mind-bowing size and uncertain history continue keeping the old Scottish legend alive. Number 8. The Quimbaya artifacts. Beautiful works of ancient craftsmanship. Or something far more mysterious? That question has followed the Quimbaya artifacts of Colombia for decades. Also known as the Tolima artifacts, these remarkable gold objects date back between 2,300 and 3,000 years and have only ever been recovered around the Bogota region. More than 100 examples have surfaced so far. Many clearly resemble familiar creatures such as birds, bats, fish, and insects. Others, however, refuse to fit into any known category. Their shapes appear strangely different, featuring pointed noses, swept-back wings, vertical stabilizers, and streamlined bodies that look surprisingly similar to modern aircraft. That unusual appearance has fueled endless debate. Most archaeologists believe they are simply stylized animal figures created by gifted craftsmen, while others argue they represent something far more unusual. The mystery deepened when enlarged replicas built using the same proportions proved capable of gliding through the air with remarkable stability. So, was it nothing but a mere coincidence? Or was it an intentional design? Number 7. Oklahoma Mysterious Iron Cup. Some discoveries become mysterious because of what they are. Others become unforgettable because of where they turn up. That's exactly what happened in Oklahoma during 1912, when an iron cup was reportedly found sealed inside a solid block of coal. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than an ordinary metal vessel. The real surprise came from the coal surrounding it, material often associated with deposits dating back nearly 300 million years. If the account were accurate, the discovery would raise questions that history struggles to answer. The story came from Frank J. Kennard, whose written description remains the only surviving record after the object itself disappeared. That missing evidence has fueled decades of debate. Some researchers believe the cup resembled cast iron from the 18th century and may have belonged to a tinner or someone making bullets. Even so, that explanation leaves one important question hanging in the air. How did a manufactured object supposedly become enclosed inside such ancient material? Until stronger evidence appears, the mystery refuses to disappear. Number 6. The Blue Stone of Russia. Russia is home to countless ancient legends, yet very few have inspired as much unease as the blue stone resting beside Lake Plesheyevo. For generations, nearby communities treated the enormous boulder with deep respect, believing it brought prosperity and protection to anyone living nearby. Over time, however, the stories took a darker turn. Today, many locals refuse to touch it, convinced the stone now carries misfortune instead of good fortune. The lake surrounding it has done little to calm those fears. Thick blankets of fog have long been linked with baffling disappearances, including reports of mushroom gatherers who never returned, and even stories claiming an entire freight train vanished without leaving behind a single trace. Whether every tale is true remains impossible to prove, but they have become part of the place's identity. Some believe the stone itself changed after being moved centuries ago. Others suspect something much older lies beneath the shoreline. Whatever the truth may be, the blue stone continues drawing curiosity while quietly holding on to its secrets. All right, now let's move to number 5. Inca. Not every ancient mystery comes in the form of a lost city or a buried treasure. Sometimes, a single piece of carved stone can leave just as many unanswered questions. High in Cusco stands a formation known as Inca Cama, which means Inca's Rest. Carefully shaped from solid rock, the monument features a raised platform reached by a short flight of steps, all crafted with the remarkable precision for which the Inca civilization became famous. Across its surface are carvings of animals, plants, and geometric patterns whose meaning has never been fully agreed upon. Some researchers believe they formed part of an ancient calendar or reflected Incan knowledge of the heavens. Another intriguing feature is a small opening aligned with the June solstice, suggesting the platform may have played a role in observing important celestial events. Centuries have passed, yet nobody can confidently explain its original purpose, leaving Inca Kama as another remarkable reminder that the past still keeps many of its greatest secrets. Number 4. The king's grave. Some tombs proudly reveal who rests inside. This one has guarded that answer for thousands of years. Known simply as the King's Grave, the burial monument in Scania ranks among the grandest Bronze Age sites ever found in Scandinavia. Its size suggests it may have honored a powerful ruler, but no evidence has ever confirmed that assumption. Dating back around 3,400 years, the circular monument was built for 2 burials and stretches roughly 250 feet across. What truly sets it apart are the stone cists, each covered with mysterious carvings showing birds, fish, people, animals, boats, and even a horse-drawn chariot. Those images continue to puzzle archaeologists today. Formal excavations began under Gustav Hallström in 1931 and continued for 2 years, revealing the remains of an even older Stone Age settlement beneath the mound. Sadly, they also confirmed the worst. Grave robbers had reached the tomb centuries earlier, taking with them the clues that might have finally revealed who was buried there. Number 3. Bellevue Mausoleum. A monument doesn't have to hide gold to become a mystery. Sometimes, the greatest question is simply who it was meant for. That is what has kept historians debating the Bellevue Mausoleum for decades. Built during the Hellenistic period near present-day Seluk in western Turkey, it is the second largest mausoleum ever identified in Anatolia, surpassed only by the famous mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Its sheer scale leaves little doubt that someone of immense importance was expected to rest there. Beyond that, certainty quickly disappears. Some historians connect it with Antigonus Monophthalmus, while others point toward Lysimachus or even the Seleucid ruler Antiochus II Theos. Every theory has supporting arguments, yet none has been proven. The greatest surprise is that no confirmed burial has ever been found inside. For a structure built with such extraordinary care, that absence feels difficult to ignore. Perhaps it never fulfilled its purpose. Or perhaps the truth disappeared long before anyone thought to record it. Number 2. Codex Borgia Well. A lot of what we understand about the gods, ceremonies, beliefs, and daily life of ancient Mesoamerican civilizations comes from its remarkably ancient pages. Well, strangely, it is not displayed inside a museum. Instead, it rests safely within the archives of the Vatican. Dating to the years before the Spanish conquest, the manuscript takes its name from Italian Cardinal Stefano Borgia, who once owned it before it passed into the Vatican Library after his death in 1804. Rather than telling one continuous story, the Codex brings together sacred writings covering rituals, divination, calendars, and religious symbols. Its greatest mystery, however, is the people behind it. Some researchers believe it came from the Tlaxcalans, while others point toward the Mixtecs or the Colulteca. With no surviving record identifying its creators, the real hands behind one of history's most extraordinary manuscripts may never be known. Number 1. The tomb of Menecrates. History has a habit of revealing places when nobody is searching for them. That is exactly how the tomb of Menecrates returned to daylight in 1843 after British soldiers demolished a Venetian fortress on Corfu. Beneath the fallen walls rested a memorial dating back roughly 2,600 years to the Archaic period. Standing beside it was a stone lion now recognized as one of the oldest surviving funerary lion sculptures ever recovered in Greece. Long before later buildings covered the site, this land formed part of the ancient necropolis of Corcyra, where the monument likely dominated every surrounding burial. An inscription carved into the structure explains that it honored Menecrates, an ambassador from Corcyra who lost his life at sea while traveling to Ointhia. His grieving brother Praxemenes journeyed from that city to help oversee its construction. Fashioned from relatively soft local limestone, the monument has survived very well through centuries of weather, war, and change. So, what do you think about these finds? Let us know. And be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.